Captain Marvel crushes the idea that women should express their power to comfort men. Spicy. Hey everybody, this is Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics, and I'm looking at a couple articles. The first one here from Bustle.com. We all know Bustle, I've never heard of Bustle.com, but it came up top in my Google search, so let's see what it has to say here. With the opening of Captain Marvel, the MCU's first female-led standalone movie, comes a lot of expectations and pressure, because it's the first of its kind. Is it letting us down if it isn't the very best of the franchise? But Captain Marvel, both the film and the character, are all about smashing the expectations that are unfairly placed on women in everything they do. The movie focuses on key moments, examining how women handle emotions, or more specifically, how they're expected to handle emotions, particularly when faced with things like discrimination and sexism. And ultimately, Captain Marvel blows the roof off the idea that women need to be stoic or unfeeling in order to be effective. Major spoilers ahead. You've been warned on that one. When the film opens, Brie Larson's character, at that point named Veers, is a budding Star Force soldier living on the planet Hala as part of the Kree Empire. The Kree are a militaristic society known for order and tight rules. One of the things her mentor, Yog-Rog, played by Jude Law, is constantly telling Veers is to control her emotions in order to become a better soldier. See, it wasn't Brie Larson's acting, it was Jude Law's fault. She's constantly in danger of letting her feelings, her anger, get the better of her, which in turn will make her vulnerable to defeat. Sound familiar, right? How often have women been told throughout our lives to get a grip on our emotions? How many times have people, just people, been told to get a grip on their emotions? Right? I mean, do we really just want to just broadcast the message out there to everybody? Just let yourself go.
None shall interfere. Do as you please.
It's all going to work out. But all right, let's keep going here. How many women have been told not to act so upset when they're wronged, that they shouldn't cry at work, or to stop being hysterical? How many women have been called crazy or irrational for simply having feelings? The mere act of having feelings. Bad. For centuries, the perceived unreliability of women's emotion kept us from owning property, voting, or controlling our own lives. And we've ingrained these expectations into our subconscious to the point that we feel like we're getting irrational for having any kind of emotional reaction, a result of gaslighting.
Generations who have kept you down.
Like many women in the world, or in this case the universe, Veers has been taught to bottle up her urges, repress her psyche, and control herself for years, with, of course, a little help from a Kree neck implant. Thankfully, women today are beginning to realize that these labels of crazy and hysterical are always bullshit. Alright. I can't really pronounce the asterisk. And Captain Marvel, aka Carol Danvers, eventually realizes that the emotions she's been trying to control throughout her time with the Kree are actually what make her powerful. In a climatic moment, she removes the block, Yog-Rog, embedded in her body, and she lets the fire inside her burn to the point where her powers are allowed to grow instead of stay repressed. But here's the ironic thing. Throughout the movie, despite being told to tackle her outbursts, Carol is calm. She's a Zen master. She handles the casual sexism thrown at her throughout the movie with the greatest of ease. She ignores the biker dude telling her to smile, and instead of exploding at him, steals his motorcycle. Well, that'll show him. She laughs off the Air Force blow, explaining to why it's called a cockpit, with a constant smirk. During a final showdown with Yog-Rog, during which he screams at her to fight him, to really show him what she can do in what can be described as the equivalent of an MRA internet troll demanding a debate, she calmly tells him, I guess Ben Shapiro is an MRA internet troll, "I have nothing to prove to you." And she drags him away, just like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Good job, Captain Marvel. She makes no grand speeches or huge statements. She simply gets up every time she's knocked down and tries again. Does that sound like emotional control to you? It sounds like, in that statement right there, she said, "Good job, Captain Marvel, controlling the disappointment or the rage of being incited in a moment and instead doing the right and logical thing." But that would seem to argue against and counterpoint the rest of the article, which is about embrace your rage. Sometimes the leftists can be a little tough to follow. All right. So, using a common Earth technique, Yog-Rog was gaslighting Carol. You pesky men, even when you're not humans, you're still screwing with women. Bastards. Anyway. trying to convince her that she was actually irrational when she wasn't, to the point where Carol truly believed him, and he was purposely repressing her power because he knew she was stronger than him. You damn men. Anyway, thankfully, Carol breaks free from the brainwashing, and it's so satisfying. In the real world, women are calling out men who tell us to calm down. We're proving that emotions aren't a weakness in the workforce. You know, if you could maybe back up that statement with something, that would be more interesting. Otherwise, I'm just left here going, in what place, please point to the workplace where just emotional outbursts are like, ding. And we're even helping men realize that they need to express their emotions too, because forcing men to repress their feelings contributes to toxic masculinity and harms them personally. So, you heard it here first, folks, at The Bustle. Men, if you're feeling something, if you're angry, just let it out. If that woman broke your heart, let her know about it. You didn't like being turned down for a date. An attractive woman walks by you, you know what? Express yourself. Don't bottle it up inside. That's toxic. Let it all out.
I'm always angry.
Oh wait, don't do that. That'll get you thrown in jail. Huh. Yeah. Feminist minefields are a little difficult to navigate. Right? I know. Back in college, I actually dated the president of the Women's Interest Network.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Hold on. I'm having a flashback here. Okay. But it's weird because you get a lot of these contradictory messages, like this article itself does, of don't control your emotions, let it out. Wasn't it great when she controlled her emotions? Men, let out your emotions, unless it's going to upset women, because we know that would be bad. So really, whenever you're around a woman, just do whatever would be supportive of her emotions. In other words, don't let out your emotions at all. It can be a little crazy sometimes. But this article, okay, makes an interesting point. What is the theme of Captain Marvel? According to Bustle.com, it is women empowerment by throwing off the yoke of men, which is certainly kind of counterpoint to, say, what we saw with Wonder Woman, where the message was, it's not just the men, because Wonder Woman went out of its way to have a woman shown as, you know, the woman creating, or the scientist creating the poison. And the message of Wonder Woman was embrace love of other people and humanity in general, despite the fact that maybe they don't even deserve it, that humanity is flawed, because it's not about them deserving it, it's about what you believe. What a beautiful message. Whereas the message here of Captain Marvel, I'm sorry, I just realized Mary Sue didn't want me to compare those two characters. Mea culpa. Okay. What if we instead take Captain Marvel and compare her not to Wonder Woman, because that would be sexist, but instead to, some other figure from comic book lore who's been in the movies lately, who kind of says, you know what, just let it all out. Express yourself. Do what you feel. You've been oppressed. You need to do what you feel. Can you think of a character that has come by with that message in a movie lately?
The oppressors of generations who have kept you down with myths.
Isn't it interesting where we've got this, in this case, life imitating art, where the trials that are taking place during Batman Returns are clearly kangaroo trials, right? And on a lot of these kind of Me Too lynch mobs, or against, say, Nick Sandman for attacking that poor Native American man and chanting, "Build the wall," whenever you're trying to present contrary evidence, doesn't it feel a bit like that? Isn't this basically the ultimate result of embrace your rage, everybody? Yes, it is. And that's why Captain Marvel is a bad movie with a bad message that will soon be forgotten. I, by the way, am writing another character who has a great deal of rage towards her own. She was a real historical figure. Leigh Litviak, the deadliest female combat pilot who ever lived, a real-life fighter pilot as opposed to a fictional one, and she's got all kinds of rage issues, which I explore in my story, White Lily, which is currently up on Kickstarter. There's a link down in the description. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Take care.